Hello everybody, I'm Dan. In this video I'm going to show you how to make your Raspberry Pi portable. The first thing I'm going to do is open up my web browser, my website, pijava.com, and I'm going to select Pi Programming. I'm going to scroll down to the portable Raspberry Pi. So basically I'm going to show you how I'm going to power the Raspberry Pi on the Toyota Land Cruiser RC car. The Raspberry Pi will require a separate power source from the battery that will be powering the motor, servo, and any other accessories that we may add. Now the reason for this is simple. If we power the Pi with the same battery as the motor, servo, etc., then at some point the battery will be too low to power everything and the Pi will experience a power failure. Now too many of these unexpected power failures will eventually corrupt the micro SD chip, causing you to lose your OS and everything else stored on the Pi. That's definitely not good. So I came up with an easy solution, a simple phone charging bank. And I've got it sitting right here next to my Raspberry Pi on my webcam there. Now these low-cost devices are typically equipped with a fast charge port that delivers way more amperage than the old charging banks. Now the unit that I purchased on Amazon cost $20 and it comes with a 5-volt 2.1 amp output port. That is plenty to power the Raspberry Pi for quite a while. As a matter of fact, I tested it yesterday and I was able to keep the Pi running for 20 hours on the 12,000 milliamp 5-volt pack. Now that will be more than enough for supplying power to the Pi on my Land Cruiser RC car, even with it acting as the control device and providing the signal output to the servo and the motor, plus more. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this up here. And so I've got my Raspberry Pi currently plugged into my power adapter, which is plugged into the wall. I'm going to remote into my Raspberry Pi here and just come up here and we'll just select shutdown, right? And we'll shut it down properly. Okay. And so we'll let the Raspberry Pi shut down. We see these little blinking green light here, right? Okay, so that green light went off. So the Raspberry Pi is now shut down properly here. So on this, I'll move this off the screen here. So as you can see, we got 1200 milliamp, and then on the other side of this battery pack, right? And I'm not endorsing any particular brand or anything like that, but what we're looking for is a 5-volt 2.1 amps. So anything greater than 2 amps is going to be good, all the way up to, I think, maybe about 2.8 amps. Anything over and above that might be just a little too much. So, but this is absolutely perfect at 2.1 amps. So let's go ahead, and of course you can see it's got the USB, the regular huge USB out to a micro USB. So we'll go ahead and unplug our Raspberry Pi with my giant hand in there. And then I'm just going to take a, this is just a standard little cable that came with it, and it's got just the regular end on one end and the micro end on the other. Okay, and so we'll get that cable out of the way. We'll plug this in here and plug this in here. Okay, now let's see, I'm gonna kind of tilt this up just a little bit so we can kind of get everything in focus there. And let's redo that focus on that. Okay, so as you can see, let's move the Raspberry Pi in closer. As you can see, the Raspberry Pi is not turned on right at the moment because we have no blinking LEDs right down in here. Okay, so on the side of this particular power supply, there's actually a power button right over here. So we're just going to go ahead and press that. And as you can see, that turned on our LEDs over here and is powering up our Raspberry Pi. Okay. All right, so at this point, let's go ahead and just put this into a little window here. We'll come over here to the remote desktop. And if you've never watched one of my videos before, well, basically I've got my Raspberry Pi set up to connect to my Wi-Fi, and it always gets the same IP address. And basically, I just remote into the thing. So I don't have any, anything hooked up to the HDMI. I don't have anything hooked up to the Ethernet cable, the network cable port here, or a keyboard or a mouse for that matter. And so I just emulate into the thing on my local area network over my Wi-Fi here. Okay, and so we'll just go ahead and connect back into that Pi. Raspberry there we are. We are now connected into the Raspberry Pi itself there. As a matter of fact, this output does have enough to actually, my last tutorial, actually tutorial before the last one, I was actually controlling a servo there. Let me grab my cables here, and we'll just hook that up, and you can control a servo. Now, in my next one, I'm not going to be using this little itty bitty mini servo for doing much of anything there, especially since I'm going to be going to the RC car there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be using my big beefy servo, which I'm not sure where I've got, but anyway, you'll see that in the next tutorial here. So we can actually hook this up and control it, and let's go ahead and hook this into the second pin, the ground. And then skip 2 pins over. We've got our signal, right? And hook that in there. And then our last pin, of course, here is the power pin. So we'll hook that in there and put that right down the center there. And we saw our servo twitch. And so if we go ahead and run that last program that we did here, let's go ahead and open this up. We'll cd java, cd servo easy, right? And then do java servo easy, right? We'll blow this all the way up here, refocus. Okay, so you can see we are, even controlling a servo with the output on this pack here, and now it's going to start doing its thing here and rotating back and forth there. So zooming kind of out here. You can definitely see that, the Raspberry Pi is just no external power sources. It's doing a great job of powering this little micro server here as well too. So anyway, so that's the setup that I'm going to use on that. Although I'm not going to be using this one here, and I'm going to be using an external power source for the controlling the super high torque servo that I'm going to put in on the Land Cruiser here. So anyway, that will pretty much do it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching.